since I can fall to my death if I release my hand or at any moment, I'm gonna do a video about death. Freud said we all have two drives in us: the death drive and the sex drive. The sex drive is the drive for union, and the death drive is the drive for destruction and for nothingness. And I'm gonna argue that there is really only one drive at the end. Our deepest unconscious drive is the death drive. Now I'm just entertaining this idea here, like, don't take it to be truth or anything, but it's just a different way to think about life from the other side of the extreme. What if death is the ultimate truth and that life is the lie? What I mean by that is that life is sort of like an accident, sort of a disease in a sense. Death just is. But life, yeah, it's an accident. It's not supposed to be. Doctors and researchers and scientists who cure cancer and who try to fight diseases are actually, or even women that get pregnant are actually the criminal, and who should be put into jail, right, for disrupting the infinite peace. We want to go to sleep because we want to escape consciousness and towards the more normal state of unconsciousness. So every night is a mini death, and I think in that space, that really is the space of the ultimate non-duality. It's the great equalizer in the sense that when you are in the unconscious state, even if you're Donald Trump, Obama, or Justin Bieber, or me or you, we are all rendered the same, homogeneous whole. And we rubberneck, we play video games that, you know, we kill people in the virtual world all the time, and we like watching violent movies. It's a cathartic way for us to release, to come, to shoot our death come, in a sense. I think pain is just like the pre-cum of death, almost. Jordan Peterson said that pain is the most real thing in the universe. Not even a nanosecond during severe pain could we doubt the existence of I am. I suffer, therefore I am. So maybe pain is the fastest gateway to truth. You know, people pack into gyms and meditation halls to feel something real. It's a pain-inducing factory and simulator to generate suffering in a safe, controlled, and artificial environment. So when I was 5 years old, I'll put my middle finger between the cracks and slam the door as hard as I can just to see what would happen. You know, I just wanted to know, you know, how do I have sensations like this? What makes me feel? You know, what is really on the inside of my fingers? I'm not satisfied with just what's on the surface. So over the course of a few months, I would progressively just overload the exercise and put my finger in the middle of the crack and slam as hard as I can, over and over, every time I leave the room. And one night I remember my cousin came over. They're a little bit older than me, and then they came over to build some Legos. But something was different that night. You know, I could feel the magic, the electricity in the air. I was like, God damn it, give me the truth! And I slammed the door as hard as I can. I looked down at my fingers, and I thought I saw a white light coming from a tunnel. But it was my bone sticking out of my finger, and 3/4 of my middle finger was severely cut off. It was barely hanging on by the skin, and I received 8 stitches, and I stay woke, quote unquote. The doctors just didn't really give me any anesthesia for whatever reason. I still don't know.
这个小妹妹没有臭觉。
This is a good pickup story. I always tell girls this on the first date. It's a good way to screen out people. I hold out my middle finger, you know, poke a hole in the brain. You like this? If you like this, you'll like what I'm going to show you. If you think about it, meditation, it's the same thing. You sit there and you go through the pain of meditating for 12 hours a day. in silence, and that you're peeling layers and layers and layers of your identities and self until you're left with white light, and then you gotta throw that away. Yogas and meditation, what are they but a fancy and acrobatic maneuver or movement that is used as a tool to transition into that state again of non-existence. And what are enlightened masters but people who had died before they died, right? And in a sense, reaching enlightenment is all about abiding in the state of egolessness. So you killed yourself in a spiritual sense so that you could be reborn. And Jesus' rise, his resurrection, is nothing but a metaphor, I think, for just a human being who became enlightened by abolishing his separate, false, egoistic self and became God. So if that's the case, if the unconscious is divine consciousness, then the unconscious in a sense has more quote-unquote intelligence than our normal waking consciousness. The intelligence of the unconscious, it's always trying to find a loophole for us to stumble closer into its infinite spirals. And maybe that's why we take drugs and we get drunk, we get fucked up, we get to the point where we black out. In a sense, it's almost like that unconscious intelligence is pulling us back towards where we come from, the primordial soup. Again, I talked about the two drives, the sex drive and the death drive, right? And when we can't, when we are too pride to die, to let go completely, we settle for the next best thing, which is an orgasm, right? In Greek or in French, whatever, orgasm means mini death, right? You come and then you sort of get reborn again after you come, right? And so in that sense, death is the orgasm that is life, it's the pinnacle of life. When a girl wants you to fuck her, she doesn't want you to come inside her. She wants you to kill her, in a sense, to stab her with your penis so that she could orgasm, to experience the mini death. That's why she rolls her eye back and spasms and calls out God's name. Right? There are many religions that describe climax as the pathway to God, right? And that's why we celebrate birthdays and New Year's and Christmas. Because why would we celebrate birthday if it isn't because every birthday that we pass is just a celebration of, because it's a day closer, it's a year closer than towards that ultimate non-being, non-state.